Welcome back to Style and Scrubs. It's your guy A Vice, aka I make overwhelmed look cool. Today was a different one. Today was a great one. Today was definitely a character building day, and I like these type of days because it lets you know who you are in the midst of chaos. Are you the type of person that stays in the fire? Retrieve what you need to retrieve, whether it be your self talk, you know, um, and my field, help the patients, be a little bit more selfless and just get in there and do what's necessary. Or do you run and retreat? Look, to be honest, it doesn't really matter where you are on the spectrum. Sometimes you're going to need to run and retreat. Sometimes you're going to need to stay in there and do what you have to do to get it done, and know that sometimes you're not going to get a thank you. You know that sometimes you're going to get more adulation than you thought was appropriate, but it might be very well needed, wanted, warranted, and appreciated. But you just have to figure out who you are in these situations. And the only time that you really know who you're going to be is being put in these situations. Is one of the things that Bill Belichick would always say to the Patriots when he was a coach is situational football. It's not something that Phil Jackson would necessarily preach in that manner, but him being the Zen master, that's one of the things, always having the mindset of who you need to be in said situations. And when you put in the situations, that if you practice it enough and you perform it enough and you visualize it enough, you already know where and who you need to be. So being present allows you to figure out who you need to be. Um, Today was like a day where I was carrying a lot. I'm not gonna not gonna lie to you. It was a lot that I was carrying, and at times I felt isolated and very well present at the same time. Kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but you know when you're carrying a lot and when you're doing a lot, you can be all over the place and feel like you know place at the same time. And today was one of those days where I felt sequestered by the demands of the day. But you know me, I make overwhelmed look cool. So on the outside, from the outside in, nobody can really tell us how I'm feeling because when I'm in it, I'm in it. As me and one of my closest friends always say, you gotta have this a Jordan challenge, like on 2K, you gotta go Jordan. I had to drop a 50 piece. I had to drop a 50 piece today, and it just was one of those days where it didn't matter what needed to get done; it was gonna get done. But at the same time, those type of days can be very, very exhausting. And sometimes people can pick up on it, and sometimes people don't pick up on it. But as the individual in it, you have to understand that when you're in one of these type of moments, when you in pocket like that and you in rhythm, you have to make sure that you validate yourself. And self validation is not always affirming yourself, giving different affirmations. Sometimes self validation is knowing when to take a break, knowing when to step away. Get a water break. Sometimes you just need to doom scroll on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it might be. But you need to do what's necessary so that you can continue to perform and be there for those that you need to be there for and be there for those responsibilities that you manage. But you know what I love to say. Let's make some shake. Look, don't let nobody steal your joy. Don't let nobody put that weak jacket on you. Put your jacket on and style on 'em. And if you're gonna style on them, style in scrubs. Figs to be exact. I want you to live in color, live on purpose, and I want you to do exactly what you want to do. But before you leave, make sure that you LCSS. That's like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace.